Cartel, and started with the Arkansas boys, and then we had the Falcor Bigfoot investigations. I'm going to play the little video here, and it kind of kicks things off. Which button? Oh, at the top. All right. There was sound with it, but anyway, there's one of our tracks that we found in the casting. It's actually over there on the table. Measuring situations here where if there's a lot of water or anything, you gotta let it stay longer until the water leaves the track. On our Arkansas Boy page, you can find all of our videos. This is one of was back up. I guess it will back up. Anyway, that was what we call a ritual area, a worship area. Started over again. All right, technical difficulties painting and all this kind of scale stuff here. But anyway, with the Arkansas Bigfoot Cartel, they call us the ABCs of Bigfooting. And here's some of the stuff that we recommend that you take while you're Bigfooting. First thing that we found out after a year or so in there, you think quicker than that, but anyway, have a backpack when you can take all your supplies and stuff. You never know what'll happen, so you need to, if you're going to be out in the field, you need that backpack. Kind of like the 4-hour trip that Gilligan and them was going to take. It ended up being a lot longer than 4 hours, so you never know what'll happen. I was saying there, you need a ruler. I recommend taking a walking stick with you. Measure how long that walking stick is so that you can use it to figure out how the trackway is, how far the tracks are apart from each other. As always, a camera sometimes, cell phones are somewhat good nowadays. Plaster, 2 limbs in a Ziploc bag, a water bottle to put with that. Some type of rope, paracord, something, 8 by 10 plastic sheet. If you happen to get caught out there, you can make it shelter. Also, if you find a wet location, after you put your cast in there, you can put that plastic over it, and it'll kind of help dry it out quicker if the sun hits it, or if you're going to leave it overnight in a dry location, you can put that plastic over it. Binoculars, always pack your food, either crackers, beef sticks, something like that. It's good to have, if you're advanced into it, your night vision, thermal, on everything, have backup batteries. Ain't no telling how many times we've been out in the field and end up never having enough backup batteries. Also, as our group, we recommend that you have some kind of personal protection while you're out there, because there's other things out in the woods that you might run into other than Bigfoot. Some kind of handgun, knife, something that you can have protection with, because, like I said, there's other things out there, and in today's world, even people that you run into out there, you never know what can happen, so always be prepared. Back into the game cameras, like Robert was saying, game cameras can be good, but most of the times they see the infrared light. That's what we come to see. If you put them up, you get like a video of the first night of eye shine or a glimpse of them, and after that they avoid that area. That's a good thing. If you want them to avoid your house or whatever, put up any kind of game camera, anything infrared, and pretty much they ain't gonna be there very long if you're having trouble and activity that you don't want around your house. One of the things while you're out there I recommend getting is one of these. They're like $12 on Amazon. I'm pointing it up. It's a green light, and it don't seem to bother them, and you can actually have your light on, and I don't know if they can't see it or what, but it's handy to have the green light out there. Also, we have our Seekers podcast. I think it's a little bit. That is one of our tree structures that we've seen at the Sycamore National Forest, and then we call that Area X. I'm trying to get back to the video. There it goes. I said we're part of the Arkansas Bigfoot Cartel, and we encourage everybody to work together. It's not going to be just a one group effort that proves the existence of this. We need to work together as teams, and that's our goal, to bring different groups like the MABRC together and different ones from around the country. Anybody that needs help, we're willing to help them. We have boots on the ground that can get there. That's one of the gases, like I was saying, make sure you have a ruler when you go out in the field, or something to lay down by the track where you can have a photo opportunity to tell size. My first experience with Bigfoot, or anything that I consider to be Bigfoot, was as a teenager. I was 14 and squirrel hunting over a bluff line, and I heard what we consider now to be chatter talk, but it sounded like something was arguing back and forth across the creek. Then all of a sudden, big rocks was being thrown from one side of the creek to the other side of the creek. And at 14, I got out of there and I went up and told my uncle, and he said, "Boy, I told you not to be around down there. That's where the woolly bookers live." And I said, "What's a woolly booker?" But anyway, fast forward on that, 2014, I take kids hunting. That's our Arkansas boys. That's what started that YouTube channel, is that we take kids hunting, and they wanted something to do in January. And I suggested, let's go down to Falk and search for the Falk monster. All but one of them didn't even know what the Falk monster was. So anyway, I had to show them the movie and everything. We ended up going down there and meeting Denny Roberts, and just so happened the week before they had a sighting at the Jonesville Road area. So we split our group up into two different groups. One, me and 2 or 3 other people went to Jonesville, and 4 went over to the Ford home place. And it just so happened that as we went to the Jonesville area, my group, we rounded the curve and we saw one jump out of the woods into the road, and it either went through the fence right then, or it went through a hole that was already broken in the fence. I wish I'd paid attention to see if it was fresh break or not, but I didn't. But as we got up there, it was about 100 yards from us, and like it's been brought up about the back muscle. In fact, this was all slouched over, big cone head, and it went into the woods as we was yelling at it. It never even paid us a bit of attention. But ever since then, I've been hooked and been all over Arkansas and asking everybody for any encounters. We have different teams that's all over Arkansas. If you report one, usually within a day or two, usually we can get somebody to that area and check it out. And if more action is needed, then we usually arrange an investigation. And we want to promote everybody to have their own experience. So we don't charge nobody to go in the field. We usually do 4 investigations a year during the fall, and we usually keep it like 20 people or less. That's the only holdup. Wish we could do more, but we say everybody needs to not just believe or think. You need to have your own experience and be out there. We're willing to take you and to all of our areas. It's not a permanent thing. I mean, there's nobody that's an expert, but usually if you're in a hot spot in the area, you're going to have activity. So that's what our goal is, to take everybody that we can. One, I'm all about tree structures. That's what I look for. And the reason of that is it's my personal belief. I'm not trying to persuade anybody, but there's 2 different classes that's getting put into the Bigfoot area, which is the Giant Epithecus, which is the more ape type. You actually see those. We've seen those kind of tracks. We've had reports of them, especially up around the Mountain Home area, as actually they don't walk as good as like the more human types. They actually trud, pull their feet through as they move. We've had several reports of that around the Mountain Home area, and we saw 2 different sets of tracks like that. I would consider that into the Giant Epithecus. But the more human type, like I said, my personal belief is that it's a descendant from Esau. Esau was born covered in red hair, and he had 2 wives that was from the giant bloodline. You take somebody that's covered in red hair, covered as a garment at birth, and anyway, their bloodline would be what we consider to be Bigfoot today. Back to the tree structures, everything, points, the different stuff. This is what we consider to be the alpha male symbol. This is saying, this is my territory. I'm the male that runs this, and you need to see me before you come through here. We've got several different examples of that. The one that here I show you means look, reveal. There's a symbol for you're entering my territory. If you see it, that's broken, bent over into the ground. A lot of stuff in the area could be people will point out storm damage. Well, Bigfoot did that. No, if you find one example, there's going to be collaborating structures around that, and what we try to do is go in a big circle and find something in the tracks or other evidence that points that Bigfoot has done this. It helps us out considerably in tracking down for the areas we need to focus on. Simple for beginning. There's another example of a powerful leader that we found. And another example of entrance. reason I believe that is, like I said, is because it's from Esau and his descendants. There's most of the symbols that the Hebrew and ancient Sumerian text used. Now we're back to there. All that is stuff that we use to actually track these down and see if they're in the area and their movements, where the water is, where the food is, like they've pointed out. All this can point you in the right direction. If they're going to be in that area for a while, there'll be several different kinds of signs and stuff to look at. I'm going to turn it over to Dale and let him tell you about the tracks and how to track them and what to do once you find a track.
Thank you, Wyndham. My name is Dale Bullock. I've been acting as a tracker for the Arkansas Bigfoot Cartel, or whichever groups end up getting together that weekend. And it's not that I'm that good a tracker, or that I think I'm that much better tracker than the rest of them, because most of these little boys that run with this group, they're the type they've been hunting, fishing, trapping all over Arkansas since they could walk. You drop them in the middle of nowhere with a pocket knife and they come out smiling, But I just want to kind of share a few things with you. I was watching a video too, YouTube video about Bigfoot. Anybody ever do that? Yeah? Well, I was watching this, I won't say who they are, but they're from the Pacific Northwest. And I watch them a lot on there, and they were talking about their investigations, and they said, well, sometimes we go out for 4 or 5 times and we don't find a single thing. Wendell, I can't believe we've ever went out and not found a single thing.
Not a single thing.
I mean, that's ridiculous. In my opinion, they're either too worried about their YouTube channel, they're having too much fun around the campfire, or they don't know how to track. Now, people think, well, this thing is 800 pound, 8 foot tall. It's going to go out there and just leave these monster tracks everywhere. Tell you what, these things are agile. There's a lot of times when you go out there and you know they're there. You know they're there because you see the tree structures and stuff, but you go out there and you don't see anything. And then you start noticing leaves that are scrubbed out of the way just a little bit. And you have to start following the clues. And I usually go out there like that and I'll start finding leaves that have just been displaced. And you would think something that big walking through there, it's going to leave a monster track. But they don't. Then the next thing I start looking for is rock displacement. A rock sits out in the woods for a long time and it's going to have an indentation where it's in the ground. Something comes along and kicks that rock. You know something did it. It's easy to see if there's a deer track there. If there's no deer track, something else kicked that rock out of place. I go looking like that. Okay, I start following a couple clues now. I've got a rock that's kicked out of place. I've got some leaves that I've noticed been moved, and they're running along a similar line. So I'll go out in the woods and I'll start looking. And you see a lot of times out in the woods, these small limbs that's hanging down low, like on old cedar trees and stuff, they'll have moss on top of them. Well, you start looking, well, something has moved the moss off of this limb. So now you've got something that's going this direction. It's actually able to reach up. Could be a bear. We don't know. But you see this moss has been displaced off this limb. So you know something has done it. Well, then I start looking out ahead. I've got a direction now. So I start looking out ahead. Well, you go through there and you see these limbs. Anybody ever walk through the woods and you just walk by and snap a limb off so it doesn't scrape you in that side when you walk by? I think everybody's done that. But you go out there and you start seeing this line of trees in the woods that they 8, 10 foot tall. There's little limbs snapped off. A deer's not going to do that. A bear's not going to do that. Not in a line like that. Something's been snapping off limbs. Well, you follow lots of signs like that, and you start seeing like logs. You'll see that the moss and the bark has been rubbed off the top, like something has been sliding over the top constantly. Well, you've got a trail, you've got a pattern that they've been going through over and over again. And then sometimes, like the situation we had up there in the swamps up in Baldon, man, we had a sign, I kept seeing this one odd sign over and over again. I think this has got to be the same creature. Got to be. Kept following it, kept following it, kept following it, and all of a sudden, we don't have any sign. I don't know which way it goes. Robert Taylor from up there, he was with us. I said, what do we do now? And I said, well, Robert, we got to look out there ahead. I said, these things are just like us. It's a path of least resistance. If I was going to walk out through there, if you were going to walk out there, Robert, which way would you go? Well, Robert, he says, I believe I'd walk down there where that goes into the water over there, and instead of walking through all those salt briars and that brush pile, I'd kind of veer around that and go up that other bank. And I said, exactly. So we go up there and we look, and sure enough, right there in the mud has already settled out. There's like 3 tracks underwater. I think there's a man right there. So we follow that around, we go up along, we go like Robert said, right up around there, lo and behold, up there in the nose, out there in the middle of the wet swamp was that 3-toed track. So we got him. I hollered, Wendell. I said, Wendell, I got a 3-toed over here. But he comes over and looks at it, he takes his team and he cuts a big circle around us, and he cuts the path going out of the swamp. So now we've got a left and a right hand footed track going out of the swamp. So we know it's genetic. We've got a 3-toed creature. But anyway, that's just, a lot of people think you just go out there and find tracks. You don't. These things can move like ninjas out there. They don't leave tracks. They try not to leave tracks. If you're lucky to find a track line down the middle of a muddy greater ditch, boy, are you lucky. You better get your cash in here. Anyway, that's all I got.
How's everybody doing today? My name is Neil Huff. I'm from Cass, Arkansas. Y'all see the picture of all of us up there? We need more people on that. Our areas has expanded. A lot of y'all know what we call Area 2. It's just double. I need extra help. I need seasoned veterans. I need people that's willing to go in these woods, play it safe, play it smart. But we're going to be going into Devil's Den. We're going into the Cass, Arkansas area. We're going up into Area 2. And possibly we're going into Northern Johnson County. So if any of you guys are interested, we do not charge. We need the help. Thank you.
That's pretty much all we had.